burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses.
Alrighty, good morning everybody. For the record, I have no idea what I just listened to. But that was for my mentor B. How you guys doing this morning? We got some good options out there today. Let's take a look at how the market's doing overall. The stocks are pointing a little bit lower today. If we look at the SPY and the Dow, but the good thing is these are mild. Compared to Wednesday's tremendous rally. So the Dow and SP 500 had their best days in 8 months, and their second best daily gains of 2018. So that's good news. Hopefully that means we're stepping out of that correction territory. Getting back some of that momentum. So what's our leading gapper today is TNXP. Now this one yesterday had the 1 to 10 reverse split. I remember we went over that. And if you remember from yesterday, we were talking about TNXP and how some of these stocks do reverse splits, and oftentimes what will happen is the companies will come out with news right after they do the reverse split. So they'll do a 1 to 10 reverse split. That slashes their public float by 10 times, and so now they become a pretty low float stock, and that's what we're seeing right now. If you look at the scanners, that's why this stock is highlighted blue. It's a lower float stock now. It gets a lot of volatility. It produces a higher demand for the shares because there's fewer out there. And then what happens is, it's funny because reverse splits are not the most bullish thing in the world, right? They're not. The stock was trading at 36 cents the other day. And what happens is with the NASDAQ, for 6 months, if you're a listed stock with the NASDAQ, you have to be trading over $1. And if you're not trading above $1 for a consecutive 6 months, then you get delisted from the exchange. So that's why a lot of these companies will do these reverse splits. It also attracts longer term investors just being a higher price stock. Not many used to just keep dropping. Yeah, back in the day they used to just keep dropping. Yeah, Kayvon, I mean, what happens, I really do think today is a lot of the chat rooms out there, the momentum day traders, they realize that these stocks are now very low float and they just push them on up. And what these companies do is really strategic. It's quite humorous, honestly. They come out with the reverse split and then they come out with news right after it. I was really surprised yesterday that TNXP did not have news. I really was, because I remember saying that. They come out with a reverse split. Let's get some news behind it. That's oftentimes a good idea for some of these companies. The news today, I don't really dig deep into the news sometimes, but as we remember from RSLS, I think that was earlier this week or last week, news does matter. I mean, the thing went up like 300% in pre-market and then completely retraced the entire move. Yeah, they didn't want to look too shady. That is funny. Yeah, they just waited a little bit longer. But this is the gap up of the day. I know shorts are. What's up, Brad? Good morning. How you doing? We're just doing a little pre-market analysis on TNXP right now. I'm getting the feeling this is going to kind of be like RSLS, and I'll tell you why. Of course, what I say is not 100%, but TNXP, just digging into the news a little bit, it's just like expected. When I see that word expected in a PR, that sometimes brings in hype like we're seeing right now. But expectations, I mean, we need numbers. That's why I think there's going to be a lot of shorts jumping in on this to pull it all the way back down. Just because the news is on expectations for the phase 3 results coming in 2019. Yeah, I agree, Brad. And also we've seen on a lot of these, we've been talking about RSLS too. The stocks that have all the volume in pre-market, like you're saying, and are getting a lot of hype, shorts just devour them at the start of the day. Now that's why longs are having to focus more on stocks that are not necessarily getting all the attention right at the start. For instance, that was like INPX the other day. That one randomly popped, and then there was another ASNS. That one faded off at the start and then randomly came up, and we predicted that actually in chat. So you gotta kind of, if you're a more long bias trader, I mean, might be some opportunities on TNXP, for some dips, but we got to find the next stock that's going to take on off. Got to find the next stock that's going to get the volume and kind of be unexpected for shorts, because shorts are going to be all over TNXP. There's no doubt. TNXP, I don't think it's going to sustain this move. I really think it's going to. Hey Tom, what's going on? Good day. You still in Greece? You still? You're making me jealous, man. Working that afternoon shift at the stock market. But that's TNXP. That's what we're working with here. 775. It's not. 775 is a resistance area. 775, 750, $8, $quarter, half dollars, whole dollars. These are all resistance and support areas. Nice. CMAC has shorts on it. Just be careful, Kayvon. I know you are, but you're a lot like me too. We're stubborn and don't like to cut losses quickly. TNXP is one of those stocks where it's like, okay, you got to cut. You can't add to this one. I think this one's going to be coming down from just what's been happening recently with a lot of these stocks. All the pre-market gainers are like this. This is how it's been recently. They just go up, they come all the way back down, especially on expected results. I mean, if it came out with phase 3 results, yeah, we'd be seeing a move like this. But expectations, I think this one's going to be coming back down. Yeah, awesome, Tom. That's great. I forget, did you say you're on vacation there or you live there? But let's keep going down the list. And by the way, so today the Fed will release the minutes of its most recent meeting at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. The president and some others. So sometimes when there's Fed meetings like that and they're coming out with stuff in the day, volume is a little lighter than normal. Awesome, Tom. Hey, that's great, man. How long you been trading? So let's keep that in mind. Just the Fed's coming out with some stuff at 2. Sometimes volume's just a little lighter when the Fed's doing some stuff like that. We had. I know you'll be interested in this, Kayvon. ANF, of course, Abercrombie and Finch. They came out with earnings, but earnings, typically fade off a little bit. But that one's getting a lot of volume and attention this pre-market. ANF. But let's keep going down the list. Let's talk about ASNS, because what we've been doing recently, guys, is not focusing on the number one top gainer pre-market. I mean, that's where all the shorts are going. We want to find, okay, where's the volume going to go next? And we've been doing that really well the last few days. We hit it perfect on TNXP yesterday. We said, okay, this is a reverse split. We called it perfect. We said, okay, this is probably going to hit 450 and then start fading on off, but we can see the break on that very quickly. But let's find the next one. So if TNXP does do what I'm expecting it to do and just kind of fade off, where's the volume going to go next? And we have a couple options that are pretty good here, pretty viable. I think can happen. ASNS. Oh, and by the way, okay, this week has been kind of like merger madness, is the way I'm putting it. Merger madness. So we had ASNS to start us off, and then yesterday we had ALQA, which did retrace its entire move at the end of the day. But both of those had merger agreements, ASNS and ALQA. So today, let's find the merger agreement. I haven't found it yet, but there could be one out there just hiding. And Tom, nice. Been trading a while. Got back into trading since March. Yeah. That's awesome, man. So ASNS, ALQA, those are our mergers. If there was a merger today, you better believe I'd be all over it. But I just don't see the merger yet. There's a few press releases I've seen that don't have a lot of volume, but could get some volume. Let's take a look at some of them, such as, VTGN. This one came out with, I mean, patent news doesn't usually draw in a lot of hype. So VTGN, this one's lower price stocks. It says they received a Hong Kong patent for methods of production for their AV101. Now, United States patents don't usually do a whole lot. Hong Kong patents, I don't know. Maybe there's not a lot of Hong Kong patents out there. But usually patents, that type of news doesn't bring in a lot of hype. Patterns not looking too pretty on that one either on the daily, so we'll mark that one off the list. VERI, this one did come out with an agreement. This one doesn't have any volume. The chart is not looking bad on this one, though. Chart is not looking bad on VERI. This one's it is looking bad as far as it's been in a downtrend, but as far as breaking up through its 13 EMA and having room to go up to its 50-day, it hasn't been above the 13 EMA in a long time, since June, and it's straddling that 13 right now at 590. It doesn't have any sort of volume at all, but it does have a PR. They announced an expanded agreement to provide radio stations for advertising campaigns. So if this one does get volume, and it breaks like $6 or so, it could move on up a little bit. So we can keep that one on watch. And then there's a few more stocks. Here's one that's really interesting. Here's one. Hey, Scotty, what's going on? How are you doing this morning? NIO. NIO is really interesting. This stock doesn't have a lot of people talking about it, and that's why I think one of these days coming up, we could see NIO break out of 825. If we look at the daily chart on NIO, I mean, this thing is consolidating. It's starting to to move on up and test that resistance level a few times. NIO, I remember when this one opened up. It's an IPO, pretty recent to September. It opened up at $6 and went all the way up, hit a high of 13.80. This one fell, retraced its move. It's a Chinese like electric car company, kind of like the Chinese Tesla, but this one did form resistance at 825. So it's hit 825 like 5 or 6 times on the daily. It's got some pre-market activity right now, and if we do see like some volume move in, I mean, it did come out with some news this morning. The news isn't really much of nothing though. Vehicle, they send real-time data to Chinese government. Okay, what we're looking for is volume, right? Okay, so everyone's on TNXP right now, but that one's most likely going to fade off. There might be some opportunities on it, but I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. It's fading on off right now. It could get like a pop back up to VWAP or $7 or so, but most likely that one's going to be done. And so the question is, where's volume going to go next? And that's what we're looking at right now, because volume is dispersed. Yeah, NIO can really move. Yeah, it has resistance, tough resistance at 825. If it breaks that, and gets, you could see 850, 875 easy. Easy. This one's been consolidating since September, just up and down, with that 825 resistance. So I think we could be early on this if volume moves in. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying it's going to get the volume. I'm just pointing out a few stocks that could. Now the next stock I want you guys to look at is ASNS. Now it's not doing a lot right now, but that does not mean it's not going to do a whole lot. ASNS, this one was the merger agreement, earlier this week. It made a huge move, and this is the one we called perfect, guys. We called this for the 150 break, and I completely missed it. Man, that was a frustrating one. That was definitely a frustrating one, but missed that 150 break. But the thing is, even if I would have bought the 150 break, I know myself. I know I would have sold for like a quick 10 cents and then been beating myself up even more. But yeah, I was watching a different stock at the time. I think I was watching any right when that got the volume. The thing is, volume just comes in randomly on some of these. You just got to be ready. And ASNS is not getting a lot of volume right now, but that certainly does not mean it's not going to get the volume. This one can easily get it, and this is a pattern that I have traded quite a bit. So we have a big green day, we have a red day. Some longs start selling their positions, some shorts start short selling at 450 or so. It starts fading back on off, and then it finds support, and then we get our next leg on up. So it's pretty much like how Ross talks about buying the 1 minute pullback. This is like the 1 minute daily pullback. So ASNS, and it doesn't have volume right now, but trust me, this thing can easily get volume. I would say keep this on watch for a $3 break, and we could see easily 325, and we have resistance yesterday around 340. We have a couple upper shadows there. I think it's a play from like $3 to 320 at least. Those are my thoughts on that. I think it can definitely get the volume. Keep it on watch. I'm going to keep it on watch. I'm not going to miss that one if it moves again, because I missed it last time. And last time it didn't have a lot of volume either. So I know right now you're looking at it like, okay, we're seeing a bunch of barcodes, but I've seen these enough times, guys. So we went over ASNS, NIO. There's a PR on BIOL. This one doesn't have any volume here either. But the Dallas Mavericks announced a partnership to raise awareness for advanced dental care in the community. That's BIOL. No volume there, though. And then VTGN, of course. That one's not the prettiest chart, but at all on it. Yeah, VTGN has tough overhead resistance. There's a reason these guys. There's a reason these stocks get stopped up where they do. I mean, 185 is not a coincidence on that stock. On TNXP, it's not a coincidence that got stopped up at 775. 775, it like in the $7 range. 775 is the toughest area of resistance. It's just weird how that works, and I don't have anything to back that up. But it's just like $1 is super tough resistance, $5 is super tough, $10 is super tough. There's just certain areas that are tougher than others. Whole dollars for sure, and then half and quarter dollars. ALQA, I would say this one is done. I don't think this one. I mean, it hit a high 524. That is like an upper wick if I've ever seen one. It almost looks like a javelin. That's not the prettiest looking chart there. I would say ALQA, stay away from that one. It's probably done. Any, we didn't even talk about any. Any definitely has potential still. Yesterday it did form a doji star on the daily. So that's a little nerve-wracking. But we did get that 650 break. We've been moving on up a little bit, but that doji star is a little concerning on any. But any, definitely, absolutely keep this on watch. This one has been one of the hotter stocks in the last week. Definitely has room to move on up. I would say if this one comes back down, we have the 200-day moving average at 539, and of course 550 support as well. So you could look for a little bounce there if you were looking to play any. All right, Scotty, thanks for jumping in here. Thanks for jumping in here. Hope you trade well today, man. So that's our watch list this morning. We got any, TNXP, ASNS, NIO. Those are the four I'm most likely just going to keep an eye on. We have a few more that have no volume, like BIOL and VTGN. ANF, that's Abercrombie and Finch. It's a little out of my price range, out of my wheelhouse. And there's TNXP right now working its way back on up to $7 right now. So this one could, it definitely could. We got to turn you into a bear. Hey, the thing is, I see people short selling in, and I'm highly interested in it. It's just with TD, I can't short sell. With CMEG, there's very limited shorts as well there. Once I get to the point where I got the right brokers in place and many different brokers, I'll be able to get more into it. But I got to work with what I got to work with, So we'll get there. We'll get there. TNXP's working it right now. It's getting stopped up right at the VWAP area, 677. This one could move back on up. I'm not saying this one is going to be a dud today. All I'm saying is I know there are shorts for certain that are going to be clawing the crap out of this one. That's what they've been doing. It's not rocket science. Every stock that's going up pre-market, and especially a stock like TNXP, this is the only stock that's hot right now in pre-market, and it's on expectations. It's certainly going to get quite a bit of short bias traders jumping into it. But if the volume fades off on TNXP, we're going to have to keep an eye on this. It could be a scanner day. TNXP starts fading off. It's probably going to be a scanner day, or it's going to be one of these stocks that we've been talking about, which is ASNS. I said, make sure you're watching ASNS for a $3 break up to about 320, 325. NIO, that one can definitely move on up to its pre-market high of 824. We have ANF, and then of course any we got to keep this one on watch as well. But do you guys have any questions at all? We're gonna wrap up this pre-market analysis here in just a minute or two. And what are you guys looking at? What are you looking at, Kayvon? ANF, yep. Yep. So ANF, the 200-day, keep that in mind. That's at 23.35, sitting at 21.30 right now. It does have some resistance on the daily at about 21.50, 21.45. I guess that's why it's getting kind of stopped up right here. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's got quite a few resistance candlesticks right around this area here. That's at 21.45. I'm seeing about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's nearly about 7 or 8. So yeah, we'll keep that one on watch too. Right around these areas, but short on the big push. Yeah, see how the market's reacting when we open on up. TNXP, this one is approaching $7 right now, so we'll keep this one on watch. I think it might get a push out of the gate, and then that's when it could be over. But we'll see. I mean, TNXP could go either way. This is just what the market's been telling me in the last week. That's all I'm going off of. But according to the last week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I think TNXP is not going to sustain this gain. But we'll see. Right, TIF. Yeah. Yep. We got about a minute left. Alright guys, that does it for pre-market analysis. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you guys absolutely kill it today. And we will see you tomorrow.